A decision about DACA, the so-called Dreamers, we're now told, will be Tuesday.
Should Dreamers be worried?
We love the Dreamers. We love everybody. Thank you very much.
You know, our efforts to stop the president's illegal immigration plan go back to a fundamental principle, which is that one person doesn't have the unilateral authority to change the law or make new law.
They came out of the shadows at the invitation of their government. The question for the Republican Party is, what do we tell these people?
I am hopeful that even in an anti-immigrant climate from the last election, when it comes to solving this problem and others like border security, we can find some common ground.
So, what is going to happen? How's it going to happen? Let's bring in our panel. Tom Bevan, Real Clear Politics co-founder and publisher. Madison Gestiato, columnist for The Washington Times. And Byron York, chief political correspondent of The Washington Examiner. Okay, Tom, you know, there's a decision here, and it seems like there's going to be kind of a walking in the middle somehow, a caveat that the Dreamers can stay, but we don't know exactly how it's going to play out or what Congress is going to do.
Right. And that's the question. Trump really doesn't want to do this. You can tell by his expression and the signals that he's been giving. He does not want to repeal this. So there's going to be some. He's going to try and punt. I think he wants Congress to handle it. We heard from Speaker Ryan that he wants Congress to handle it. So we'll see if Congress can handle it. Obviously, to handle it, they would pass some sort of patch, some sort of specific legislation just for Dreamers, but obviously this all comes out of the fact that President Obama couldn't get immigration reform through Congress when he was in office. There's no chance that we're going to have any sort of comprehensive immigration reform. It'll be just this one little piece.
And Madison, looking at that White House briefing today, those reporters were trying to get the answer. Tickle us.
Is it conceivable that he could end this program and send all these people out of the country?
The vice president said that the president will use a big heart in making this decision. What is the definition of big heart?
Jesus Contreras, he's a paramedic. He's been working since the storm hit to help people in the community in and around Texas. He also happens to be a dreamer.
Is what's happening in Texas and even Louisiana?
I think the decision itself is weighing on him, certainly.
Decision weighing on them. They tried all different kinds of ways to get them to answer, but Tuesday, she kept on saying, is the decision.
They're going to have to wait until Tuesday, and I think the thing we need to keep in mind here is if he decides to not rescind DACA, we have 10 states vowing to sue the administration. And if this does go to court, I don't think it's going to be upheld just simply because of the fact that we have DACA rulings serving as precedent here. And so I think this is something that Congress ultimately is going to have to handle regardless of what happens on Tuesday.
And you do have Senator Tom Tillis, a number of lawmakers on the House and Senate side ready to dig into this, Byron.
We have to remember, you know, about a third of the Senate senators in the Senate voted for comprehensive immigration reform. A lot of them are for it. The Republicans are in a funny position here. Almost all of them argued that this was an unconstitutional overreach by President Obama, and now that President Trump is thinking about getting rid of it, they're saying, "Oh no, don't do that." And then you have Paul Ryan saying the president should keep it in place because Congress wants to fix it. Now, knowing what you do about how Congress has performed this year, how much faith do you have that they're going to take care of this? And what else they have to do coming up in September and October? How much faith do we have that they're going to do this?
Yeah. What about this whole argument that this is a chip, Madison, in a negotiation yet to realize about a border wall, about immigration broader, and that DACA and whatever happens, and he announces Tuesday, is part of that?
Right, I definitely understand where people are coming from talking about this. When we look at the border wall specifically, that's something that we need to do to prevent future illegal immigration. This is an issue that we need to deal with, you know, referring to these people that have been here. And a lot of these are kids. Like President Trump said, that, you know, they didn't make that decision to come here. They were brought over illegally as babies, as young children by their parents. They don't know anything else. Some of them don't even speak any other languages but English. And so I think you do have to have a big heart when dealing with this, but at the same time we need to continue to be strong in preventing illegal immigration, preventing criminals from coming in this country on our southern border.
Tom, how much does Harvey change the political dynamic? Perhaps even on this issue.
On this issue? Maybe a little bit because of the stories we heard, the questions that were being asked. But look, you know, not to contradict Byron here, but I mean, I think this is something that Congress could do. I mean, you've got Paul Ryan. He seems willing to do it. Every single Democrat in the House is going to vote for it. They could pass something like this through the House, I think, pretty quickly, given where the sentiment is, and then, you know, probably the same thing through the Senate. So I think this is actually something that could get done, even though, to Byron's point, all the Republicans are on record saying that this was an abuse of presidential power. They didn't agree with it in the first place.
All right, we're going to head to the Friday lightning round. We still have that live picture from Crosby, Texas, where